This weekend? You didn't come to the party. You had the flu. I invited you.
No,
I
you
invited
didn't.
you and CJ, and you were both sick. Yes, I did. Get the text. I'm not getting.
You invited
any
me?
shit. I invited
For
you
what?
to. I had a party at Burst with the Dads and Daddies podcast. A lot of y'all
All right,
came.
you did.
And yeah, thank
My bad. You did.
Thank
You did.
Roll the clip. Welcome to Brief Recess. I'm Michael Foote.
I'm Mélissa Malebranche.
Today we're going to be talking about how beautiful Bollywood is, all the booties in Heated Rivalry, how kids are exhausting, our candid thoughts on trans-racialism, an interview with Corinna Barrett Lain on capital punishment, and we're going to respond to your comments in Tales from the DMs. So stick around. Why was I Southern? I'm Paula Dean. Welcome back.
I just don't know.
I'm calling the police. Officer. You can pull off that vest.
I think so.
One time.
I
love it.
I agree.
You described it as?
I feel like this makes me look like somebody who supports NPR.
Yes. You've got your toe.
And like I also support the Met.
Your name's Rosemary. You're from the Upper West Side.
No.
No?
No.
Just you as yourself.
It's definitely me as myself. And I feel like my husband and I just flew in from the coast, the Ivory Coast. I like that.
Did you get this vest? I love it.
It was a raffle. You know which raffle?
NPR?
No.
Was it at the rec
end,
center?
It was at the end of the year raffle. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Yep. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I wanted it.
I love it. Show everyone this vest. I'm going to describe it for the people listening in their cars flying down the freeway.
It's by a Thai designer whose name I can't remember.
It's beautiful. It's got these little tassels. It's got a great... One time I had like it was clearly affiliated with an ethnicity sweater that I was looking at online, and I sent it to you. And
what did I say?
And I said, can I pull this off?
And what did I say to you?
And I already knew the answer because you do this to me too, where you'll send me a vintage fur and you'll be like, can I get this? And I'm like,
enough.
Okay, enough with the fur. But we are each other's gut checks.
Yes.
I would say. You're the friend where it's like
temperature check.
Yeah.
Can I or can I not?
And you said, I don't know what culture it is, but I know that culture doesn't belong to you.
What a bitch I am.
And I was like, that you said exactly what I was thinking.
What you were thinking?
Which is that, you know what, I that was the hesitation within me and I couldn't really articulate it.
Right.
But you could. And I think that's beautiful.
You know what I love? I just think is so beautiful. Saris are so beautiful.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, right? Like I can't wear that. Like
someone brought me back like one of those fully like knee-length shirts from India. And I was like, I don't know about walking down in the West Village wearing this. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean,
but thank you for the gift.
Right,
beautiful.
But it's like it's one of those things. Like I wonder if it's better for me to admire it on someone else than to, because I really don't want to be like a culture vulture, right? I don't want to appropriate it. But I love to look at, these are the things that happen to you when you sort of scroll mindlessly on the internet. But like every now and then I'll fall upon like a Bollywood, like an opening of something or like a Bollywood award show. And
beautiful.
And they're just, these
gowns.
women are like beautiful. And
I
they're
like the gold bangly things on the veil is really cool.
So pretty.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I wish that I could. And then immediately I'm like, you can't. And that's okay. You can't, and that's okay. You can
appreciate from afar.
I can appreciate it from afar.
Yeah. The makeup is always correct.
Oh.
Snatch.
Always.
Beat the mug down.
Always
every
down.
time.
Yeah, beat the face. I love a
We
good
need
face
to
beat.
send our makeup artists to India to learn their ways because sometimes we've had makeup artists on sets before where let's just say painting Melissa's face and then a middle-aged, bald-headed, super pale.
Do you think you're middle-aged?
And 37, is that middle-aged? Can we get a
I don't know. So I'm almost
comment below?
I'm almost 54.
I don't know. I feel like okay. Are we both middle-aged?
We can't be. We can't.
No, we can't.
I am too much older than you.
The middle of what age?
I mean, the other thing though, I would have to live to be at least 100 and something for me to be middle-aged. But my grandmother...
That's true. Your grandmother lived really long.
My grandmother lived a long time. But I mean, she lived a long time, but I wonder if
we're doing it based off age of grandparents, my grandparents died in their like 40s, 50s, and 60s. So
they
like,
did?
Yeah, I'm elder care now. This is hospice for me.
Yeah.
Like if we're doing it based off of that measure.
Okay.
I feel like 40s is middle-aged.
That's assuming that you are going to, I mean, I feel like middle age, we're thinking about living until.
Middle age is a state of mind.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Right?
Do you feel middle-aged?
Some days when I wake up and my hips hurt. When I step out of bed and both hips crack, bang, bang, active shooter in my bedroom. I feel
middle-aged when I come across like the Grammys or the MTV Awards. And I'm like, who the fuck
you don't know who any of them are. Who is that? I'm the same way.
Who is that person?
They're like, Chicka Bang Bang's going to be doing her opening number. And
who the fuck is that?
Who is this?
Who is that?
And then they bring out a 17-year-old in a pair of heels.
Who's Chicka Bang Banging?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of banging, sorry. You know what I finally watched?
What?
Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry? I said, speaking of my back's blown out in bed and I can't stand up, let's talk about the gay sex show, Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry. So here's what I feel like. Overall, it was really good.
Okay. You've got a critique. Be careful. This is going right on TikTok. Be careful.
So my friend Xandra, shout out to Zan, is obsessed with this show. Okay. And she was like, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it.
Tell Xandra to text me because I'm deep in the matrix on Heated Rivalry.
Okay. So
I'm doing like scripture versus TV. I'm doing like they're not staying true to the text. Scott is actually a verse top and we show him, he doesn't even bottom once in the show.
Right.
What does the Old Testament say? Like we have to refer back. Have
you read the books?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Legal scholar.
Sure, of course.
You've hired like the actual law professor on Heated Rivalry.
So a few things. So first of all, lately I've been doing audiobooks more than actually reading books, right?
I like that because you can go for a walk.
Correct. You could do laundry, you could do whatever. The problem with Audible or any kind of audio book is that if the actor or the reader is not good, then it ruins the experience.
Yeah.
And I started to listen to it and I could not with that voice.
You have to get like an actual actor. Sometimes Claire Danes narrated The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, I read that.
Fierce.
Yes. And no, not The Handmaid's Tale. The Testament. Did she also do The Handmaid's Tale?
I think she did because I didn't listen to The Testament.
You didn't? Okay. I listened to The Testament.
According to the TikTok comments on a video I saw, she did it. So
she did it? Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty.
Okay.
CJ's gonna
all right, no, but she did The Testament, and what was cool about The Testament was that it is several actors reading. So Aunt Lydia was
Ann Dowd.
Yeah. And I can't remember who else was in it, but Claire Danes was in it. It was so good.
I don't know anything about Ann Dowd, but there is this Twitter account called, I think it's like Hot Ann Dowd. I forget what it's called. Okay. There's some sort of Ann Dowd like parody account, and it's so good.
Is it good?
I love it so much.
So here's my feeling about Heated Rivalry.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Really good.
Okay.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think what ends up happening. No. Hear me out. When other people have told you, you have to watch this show. It's like the best show ever.
Oh, yeah.
So you go in it with these very high expectations.
Yes.
And I feel like it would have been better for me had I gone in blind.
Yeah.
Having said that, that is some good shit. And the guy who plays Ilya.
Oh, Connor Story, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That is the nicest ass.
I love this because Mélissa, because this is exactly what the internet was saying 4 weeks ago.
Sure, I'm slow to it. I'm slow to it, but I'm true to it.
Like so good.
It is. And you know, the other thing is that at certain points, I'm watching this show and I am feeling very sad, right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling so sad that there are still so many people who feel obligated to not be your authentic self, which makes me so sad because I also feel like when you are not yourself,
I know,
you don't really show up in the world the way that you want to. And
it's
I
true.
also think that that constant level of frustration is also what can make you an asshole.
Yes.
Right? Because you are just constantly not able to be yourself.
The number of deal guys that I hooked up with in college, hanging out of frat building windows, climbing down the gutter, is unbelievable. They're all DL. They're all hiding how gay they are. They're all on the wrestling team because they just want to touch a butt. It is actually, it's so real.
Yeah.
So not to say that all wrestlers are gay balls, but a lot of, especially people in sports.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people are super sports fans.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like the dads that love football, sometimes I'm like, you're a little bit too invested in that man in spandex. I'm sorry. Not all.
Not all.
Not all.
Not all.
But
but some.
And at least one.
Yeah. one out of 5 football dads might be gay, secretly gay.
I overfilled this water way too much.
You do that all the time.
Every single week we come to the studio. Immediately what happens? I spill my water in the green room.
Yep.
And then we come in here and I spill the water. It's a dry set. And
I'm looking forward to...
They're doing another installment, right? They're
I think I wonder if they're going to sort of Bridgerton it.
Oh, yes. I think they are, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of actors on that show that got like 2 minutes of screen time. And they really did make it with like paper and like hot glue guns and bubblegum wrappers. Because I was watching a thing and it was the wardrobe person was explaining how she pulled together the wardrobe and the story she told with all the outfits. The dress that Rose wears at the club, it's like a shimmery dress that she wears. It's a piece of fabric held together with like paper, literally safety pinned to this poor actress's body.
Yeah.
Because the budget was like $10. Yeah. They made this with nothing.
This is a totally stupid thing. But a million years ago, there was a girl group called the Go-Go's, right?
Okay.
And when I think it was like either their first or their second album, and they had no money for makeup, no money for clothing. And the album art is all of them in a towel. Each of them are wearing a towel, and they're all wearing face masks because they had no money for makeup. They had no money for budget. And I remember watching like a VH1 Behind the Story or whatever, where the person, their producer or whoever it was just like, I have to return those to Macy's. Do not get any of the face cream on it. So, I mean, yeah.
I return stuff all the time.
Same.
I love a good return.
Yeah.
Brad got really mad at me because on Saturday, a huge box arrived at the house.
From?
I got a pair of boots for Christmas. And
I remember the boot story. Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out what to return them for.
Yeah.
The way I exchanged them for a huge, oversized dog bed from this company. They had like big, fluffy dog beds for the dog.
Does Jack need that?
No, he doesn't need anything. He was raised in the wild.
I know, but doesn't Jack sleep with you every night?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He has not put one little crusty toenail on that fucking bed.
No.
Yet. And doesn't plan to.
No.
He walks right past it and gets in bed with us.
Yeah.
Or he just sleeps on the floor.
Yeah, same. Arthur Weasley, you think he sleeps in the bed that I bought him? But
I'll never admit Brad is right.
Electric blanket, which he likes.
Arthur Weasley has an electric blanket.
I will not be judged by the likes of you. Arthur Weasley has an electric blanket, and when he wants me to turn it on, he goes and he stands over and he looks at me and he meows. And because I am his bitch, I go over quickly and I turn it on.
Not him training you.
He just kind of like looks at me like.
He's like, time is money, baby. You got a New York minute to turn the sucker on. It takes a minute to heat up.
Totally other things. So I feel like people who are on the verge of having kids are going to enjoy this story, right?
Oh my God. I'm so excited.
So remember we were texting and I was like, I'm exhausted.
You watched your nephew.
So my brother and sister-in-law went away for about 5 days.
Yeah.
And they were like, can you and Andre watch the baby? Of course.
Yeah.
No problem. Let me tell you something. I am no longer the same person that I was. And he is actually an exceptionally good baby.
I'm sure, yeah. He's
super
so cute.
But like, so speaking of like training me, he's like 9 months old, and he now has realized that there's a camera in his bed. And he was now turning around and looking at us.
He's doing monologues.
And he's just like, tick-tock, tick-tock, motherfucker, come get me.
He knows that when he looks at the camera, someone will come in soon thereafter.
He's looking.
That's really smart.
Love it so much. But like, and
I'm still figuring out the doorbell.
Yeah. No. Amari, love of my life, is looking directly into the camera, and he just like, let's stop playing these games.
He's saying like and follow, share if you agree.
Absolutely. Had the best, but
cute.
this like 19.5-pound Thanksgiving turkey ran me into the ground. Did I send you the picture of Andre passed out?
No.
I'm going to send it to you.
Send it to me. I want to see it.
Because
I want to see it.
He was like, and Andre like had a kid and raised a kid.
No, I feel that way when I even just like hanging out with my friends' kids for a couple hours and they're there. Yeah. Brad and I leave and we're like in overdrive.
Yeah. It's a lot. I know. But it was a good time. But I feel like I was saying this to all my friends and family who have
my heart
kids.
Goes out to anyone with a child.
Hats off, man.
God
that is
bless.
And the constant blowouts.
Yeah. Yo, that's not for me. Actually, you know what? I went to my friend's house and she has 3 kids.
Okay.
Love. They're so fun. Had a blast.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she was like, yeah, my husband was like, I just love how Michael and Brad show up to our house. We have dinner, we hang out, and then they just like they'll let us know an hour before they come over that they're coming, and we're just going to, and they'll join us for dinner. They live like not too far from us. Yeah. And then we hang out, we do a puzzle, we have dinner, we order takeout. They always bring like we always stop at Billy's Bakery and bring dessert. And then they just like leave. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, to her husband, she was like, yeah, they don't have kids. They can do that. They can just like get in a cab and come uptown. Sure. And hang out with us for a couple hours and then leave.
And it's the best. It's the best thing in the world. Yeah.
It's so much fun. We do it all the time. It's always a good time. Yeah. But she was like, yeah, honey, they don't have kids. They can do that.
That's what happens when you live
sweet freedom.
A child-free life.
Yeah.
I know.
Highly recommend it. Anyone thinking about having kids.
I mean, think about that shit hard. Because it's forever.
Okay, but BTS, for a brief recess, someone in our studio, we can't say who, is expecting a child.
We can say?
It's our
producer CJ is having a baby.
So this whole segment has been just to fuck with him.
And I told him, I was just like, we're going to talk about something that I think that you especially are going to find.
Oh, I didn't even piece that together.
No, I did. And he was like, okay. But we're going to put it in the YouTube, but a picture of Andre.
But I stand by my statements.
Oh, Andre passed the fuck out.
Oh, I'm falling asleep just thinking about it.
I know.
You know what? Let's take a break. I got to take a sip out of this and I don't want to spill it on camera.
Okay. Fool.
This is your algorithm is showing. Mélissa, what is happening in your feed this week? What's the tea? What's the shade?
So I've been trying really hard to disengage from the plastic surgery stuff because it's been like, it's like starting to fuck with me for real, right? But I've gone to another place.
I've gone to an even darker place.
A darker place. So are you familiar with this notion of people being transracial? Meaning that you're
like Chinese and black?
No.
Oh.
No. Let's just say, for example...
I guess I shouldn't just start like wildly guessing when it comes to race. It's like one person.
Well, because I do think that the term transracial can be confusing because sometimes when... Let's say a white family adopts a Chinese baby, they call that a transracial adoption. Okay. But that's not what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about people who, let's say, do you remember that story about that woman, that white woman, Rachel Dolezal, who was
Rachel Dolezal. Transracial is Rachel Dolezal?
Well, people like that, right?
Who feel inside that they're... Who
feel like inside, like they were born one race. Like Rachel Dolezal.
I cannot get... Am I about to be canceled for saying I can't get behind this at all?
So here's the thing, right? So I don't know where I fell into this, but I started like really like doing a deep dive. And then there's like this black woman.
I'm sorry for laughing at this.
There's this black woman who's doing the same thing. I forget her name, Donna something or another, who was born African-American woman, or at least a Black woman, who has now gone through all the stages. She's bleached her skin, she's bleached her hair, she's got blue contact lenses, and is living her life as a white woman.
As a white woman.
Right.
Oh, no.
Now, here is my question, right? Why? I've been asking myself this question. Why does this not sit well with me?
Right.
And I really can't pinpoint it, because if I were to find out that somebody is a trans person,
I know, I was just thinking like,
my feeling is good for you. Live your truth. Be who you're supposed to be.
I know, it's like an identity politics sudoku.
Correct.
Because it's like, if we are saying that people who believe inside that they were born into the wrong thing,
right?
It's actually the same sort of
correct
logic, kind of.
But again, so falling into
I can feel the trans people typing in the comments,
and I want to be both understanding and respectful.
Yeah, like
but
these are like siblings in my queer community.
I'm like, I feel very confused, and also conflicted by it, right? Because I definitely feel like trans people are who they say they are.
Right.
End of story, frankly.
Yeah, right. I feel like 30 years ago, people were having the same conversation about trans people. But like for me, like my gut reaction of like, Rachel Dolezal is actually
why
that's crazy to me.
And I'm asking myself, right, why does that make me feel uncomfortable?
Right.
And I don't have an answer. And this is not meant to be disrespectful or dismissive of anybody, of any community. But like, it leaves me feeling like conflicted or confused,
like I'm just kind of like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually like a Gordian knot. Like, okay, so what is bothering me about this?
Right.
For me, I'm like, this is the same thing about your vest. It's like a white person appropriating a fucking culture, right? Dolezal did to her political career what, like, that is a white person trying to take another culture, right? It's the same with me sending you the sweater and being like, I want to wear this sweater.
Well, the same thing. But the difference between you sending me a photo of this sweater and the same thing of me looking at and admiring saris, right? Is like, we're looking at this and also understanding that like people are not clothing options, right?
Yes,
we understand that, right? But we're looking at these items and we're just like asking ourselves,
right,
is it okay if I wear this or no, right? Because again, you want to be respectful. This feels different.
I guess I feel like Rachel Dolezal is like the wrong entree into this conversation, because like the notion that someone feels like they are born another person, period, and then wants to like live that authentic life, whether you're trans or transracial, transgender or transracial, I guess is like, those are the same sort of conversation, right? To say this, right? I can't find a way that we would discuss it differently.
Right. Nor can I, but.
Which means then therefore I guess I have to support this, right? So I don't know. I guess I'm just confused. I guess I need to learn more is like where I'm sort of like
and again,
landing.
I've been Googling. I've been like really looking into this.
And I guess this is literally like day one. I've literally never heard of this except for Rachel Dolezal, who is a punchline. Like,
right.
And so maybe that is like.
But you know what, though? I will say, I mean, again, there were a couple of things. There were many, many things about her that upset me and bothered me personally. There was one story that she told. She was talking about her hair transition, right? And she was talking about her kitchen. Now, for white people who don't know what that is, your kitchen is the back part of your hair. And that's usually where the texture of your hair is the coarsest. Usually, not always, but usually. And for this white woman who was born with straight hair to be standing in front of other people of color talking about the difficulty of working through that kitchen.
Wait. She's white pretending to be black?
Rachel Dolezal?
No, oh my God. Sorry. I thought we were talking about this person on TikTok.
No. Rachel Dolezal. No. And I remember when I was transitioning my hair, the hard time that my family gave me and like how I felt
Rachel
like
was doing that.
And she was doing that. And I felt like, who are you
to talk about
this thing? Because it didn't happen to you, right? It just did not happen to you. And you are a culture vulture, right?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I guess the deviation in my mind is like, okay, so and I'm going to like try and break this down as like an analytical attorney.
Sure.
So we've got the transgender conversation, right? Which is like anyone who wants to shift their gender identity. On wherever on the spectrum. Live your truth.
Correct.
I run into issue with transracial conversation. When it is white becoming black or white becoming anything else.
Okay.
That is where I'm like a little bit held up because I've been conditioned to say that is cultural appropriation or like blackface, right? That's someone pretending to be another race, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I don't know.
But,
or just like an extreme version of.
Right. And I mean, and there's this other woman whose name I can't remember right now, but who, like I said, this black woman who is now living her life as a white woman.
Yeah.
And I have so many feelings about that. I know. I was going to
say, I don't really know if I have anything to say about that. But like, I'm sure you do.
I mean, I just have feelings about it, right? Like, what... Did something happen?
Right.
Was there a message that you heard that makes you hate yourself? But if somebody were to talk to me about a trans person, I would never think those things. I know.
So that's why I'm a little hung up on it.
Correct.
So, okay. So like putting my message out there to the world of what I think about this. I think I need to learn more because I don't think this is literally I'm finding out about this live on the air.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this except for Rachel Dolezal, which I highly judge and condemn what she did.
Sure.
Because she just pretended to be black to get ahead in life.
Did she?
I think so.
Is that what she did?
I think. I'm pretty sure that was like how I read it.
But does she think that's what she did? Because it seems to me that the other thing about her was that she had stopped speaking to her white family altogether. And if you were to look at the work that she did, she either worked for or did something with the NAACP. She did good work for them.
She's the president of the NAACP.
For a chapter.
One of the chapters.
Yeah. So, and she has black children.
Yeah.
I think she had children with an actual black man and loves the culture according to her.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Okay.
Do you see the trouble that I'm having?
Yeah, but if we do that, then like Hilaria Baldwin is also
correct. We
have to be like, we love that she is pretending she can't pronounce cucumber.
Well, okay, but that I think, when she was like, how you say, like she did that shit. Yeah. That I feel like is different, but why do I feel like it's different?
But in her life, I think in her mind, she's like living her life as a Spanish person, but she's from Massachusetts.
It's so we are living in such strange and again
I'm excited. I'm excited.
And I'm genuinely not making fun of anybody.
No, I'm
really
interested to learn more.
Trying to understand.
Yeah.
And also trying to understand myself.
I know, because you and I have had these conversations where it's like, you're a very proud Black Haitian woman.
For sure.
And and we've talked a lot about like the way Black women treat their hair, what your hair journey's been, what that's been like for you, and like how wrapped up in that whole sort of like sushi roll of emotions is sometimes like self-loathing and internalized racism.
So again, I think that what the trouble that I've been having is, why does this not sit well with me? And I don't understand why that is.
I guess just like, again, still hearing this first time, maybe it's that we've just really been conditioned to think about it this way of like, if you, or at least for me, like a white liberal in a big city, I've been conditioned that when I hear person pretending to be other race, we inhale and we get nervous, right? Someone putting that on is we're not supposed to be cool with that.
Right.
And I'm not saying, I still think we are not supposed to be cool with that, but it sounds like maybe this is like a special version.
I don't know, Michael. I don't know. I mean, I think.
Because I do see a lot of like connections to the transgender conversation. How do we separate the two and condemn one and love the other?
But again, because I've been doing like this dive on it, I've seen where transgendered people are like, don't compare that to
Interesting.
us.
Oh, okay.
But I think for, as many trans people as there are different trans people who feel differently about their own journey, right? Yeah. And again, I'm going to believe the person that I'm talking to. I'm going to believe what the people are saying about themselves, right? Right. I don't know.
I am going to watch like a lot of breakdowns of this on TikTok. I will say that I am deeply disappointed in you.
Why?
For not sending it to me sooner. Because I want to watch, I love staying up until 4 a.m.
I know.
Just doom scrolling, going down crazy rabbit holes. I want to see that shit. Meanwhile, I'm watching ear hair removal videos at the Turkish barbershop. I could be watching this and really learning and growing as a person. No. How fucking dare you?
I'm sorry. Okay, well, here's the silly thing that I've been watching. I've also fallen into pedicure TikTok.
Oh, I don't want to see someone getting Little Miss Piggy, Miss Roast Beef worked on. No, I don't want to see that. Send me the identity politics. Sure. I want to get worked up into a lather.
I know, but seriously, it's been like, really feeling very conflicted.
Well, this is what, but like, I want to get into like that and like learn about it, because it really is a culture, it sounds like, or someone's experience that I'm not hearing about or learning about.
Nope.
And I want to be on the forefront of that shit. I want to know because my whole feed, I mean, mine gets like really doom scrolly with like the news and the headlines. Like I've noticed, especially since the ICE attacks in Minneapolis, that I've become a part of the conversation where I'm commenting on it. I'm also a part of the echo chamber a little bit. And my whole sort of algorithm has become very much ultra liberal, anti-ICE.
Yeah. I mean, same, but like, this is like this weird thing that I fell into.
No,
I
get it. I also have like Birkin bags in Dubai. And then it's unboxing of Birkin bags. But now the Dubai Birkin bag girlies are literally in fucking bunkers.
Yes.
Dubai's getting bombed.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
I was watching last night and it was the Birkin bag girl. She came up and she was in a bunker with all her purses.
She took her purses with her? Stop it. Stop it. No, she didn't.
I mean, I'm not
Unless the purse is in the purses are in the bunker at all times.
I can either confirm or deny that she carried them down there. I did not see her lug all the purses down there, but yeah, here's where we are in modern warfare.
Okay. That bothers me. There are so many things.
She's like,
that
I can go on the record about this. I can finally say for sure
that like the sort of the world around you is coming to an end and your first course of action is save the bags.
Let's say I've been in near misses before where I'm like you get in a car accident, or I was on a train once where there was like, I honestly don't even know what happened, like a transistor, like exploded or something, and there was like smoke and a fire, and there was a big explosion on a train. And I was with my college boyfriend and I ran and I left him.
You left him?
I left him so fucking fast.
Did you ever see this episode?
I dumped that little fucker so fast I ran for it.
Oh God. Jerry Seinfeld, the Seinfeld, where there's like a fire and George is at a birthday party and he pushes the kids out of the way to save himself. Yeah.
I love this guy so bad. And we got in a fight about it after.
I'm sure.
Like, you just left me.
You just left me.
We broke up soon.
I was going to say, you're not with him. It didn't last long.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm really excited. I want to get into some of these headlines, but our guest is here.
Okay.
And we've got an interesting conversation today.
I'm looking forward to talking to her.
Yeah. Should I tease it a little bit?
You can do it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to whisper. They're like...
You could do it later.
You could do it later. She whispers directly into her fucking mic. All right, we'll be right back. So welcome back to Brief Recess. I'm Michael Foote. We're going to be talking today about lethal injection. Today, we have just a light-hearted conversation.
Easy breezy.
We're here with Corinna Barrett Lain. She's a professor of law at the University of Richmond State Law, and she's one of the nation's leading authorities on the death penalty. She's a former sergeant in the U.S. military and the author of the book, Secrets of the Killing State, The Untold Story of Lethal Injection. Please welcome Corinna Lain.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And you just finished a book tour, right?
A crazy book tour.
I did.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness. It was the adventure of a lifetime. So my sister and I, shout out to Mandy, we went in her van. #van life. And she drove every mile of this, and it was 13,000 miles.
Wow.
We did 57 events in just under 80 days.
Wow.
And how was the relationship at the end of the I feel like these are important questions to ask, right?
That's such a good question. Yeah.
You must have a sister to ask that question.
I have a younger brother.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was fantastic, but I do have to say at the very, very end, we ended the tour in Oklahoma City. And I had 3 events in Oklahoma City. And she's driving me to one of the events and she said, I didn't think we were going to make it. I didn't think we were going to end. And I was like, what do you mean you didn't think we were going to make it? Like, what did you think was going to happen? And she said, I don't really know, but I didn't think I'd be driving you at the end. I thought you're just going to drop me off alongside the road or something.
Abandon you.
But it was great.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And people, after that experience, I just feel like there's such goodness in the world.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I was pretty nervous because, 2 women in a van driving around the deep South saying, let's not kill people.
Yes.
Like what could go wrong?
Right.
Yeah. But people were really kind and open-minded. And I found that so many people, they didn't know. And almost every single one of those events turned into a larger conversation about the death penalty. And I welcome that here.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was just going to say, you're such a friendly, warm, bubbly, infectious person to pick such an intense topic. I think when we were talking about having you on the show, I think you and I get similarly sort of categorized of dealing with a really crazy subject matter and still being somewhat of an optimistic person, I think is a really unique, strange persona to have in the world. And I'm just so curious what led you to this topic. Was there a catalyst for this in your life? Because people ask me all the time, how'd you get into immigration law? What was that for you from an immigrant family? And I just want to hear, I'm sure it wasn't A to B. I'm sure it was mercurial.
It was not. And I have to say kudos to you because, everything you say about me is really applies to you 10 times because you're seeing people, you're seeing actual people. Right?
Yeah.
You're a frontline provider.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I'm a researcher. Now, there is a story, behind that, but I think it would be even harder to see, cruelty and brutality. When you see their face.
It's hard. We can, A, I wouldn't have it any other way. B, I'm who would I be if I didn't do something? If I have the skills I have and I'm able to help, who would I be? And C, I'm oh, yes, it's awful to be around this, but I can actually do something and I have the tools to do it. Yeah. So it's kind of I've chosen a space where I actually have a lot of agency, which is unusual, I think. A lot of people who are service providers, they can help in one small way, but I'm oh, there's actual relief here that I can seek. And the other avenue for someone who is combative, angry, a loudmouth. I get in a lot of fights. My desk at school was in the hallway. I've got an older sister. We fought like cats and dogs. The other pathway for me, aside from the courtroom, was probably the jailhouse.
Or jail.
Yeah, or the drunk guy at the bar starting fights. Right. So it's oh, I actually picked a pretty productive path for that. But yeah, that's how I sort of categorize it in my mind. But I'm still also sorry. We don't have to talk about me. We brought you on the show to talk about you, but
it's so good. Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I am a former prosecutor.
Cool.
And I'm a legal historian. And so what brought me to the death penalty in the first instance is I did 2 legal history pieces on the death penalty. And those were more about, the conditions under which the Supreme Court protects unpopular minorities.
Right.
I just remember sort of, high school civics where it's like, the Supreme Court is this protector of unpopular minorities from overreaching tyrannical majorities. And we laugh at that now, but at the time I was like, is that true?
Yeah, it very much is how we came up. Yeah.
No one's even saying it now. They're not.
I mean, they're not.
They're not.
But even when I was in law school, it was like, the Supreme Court, it's loosely tied to politics and who's in power in the presidency. And maybe they sometimes wait to retire until there's a favorable president in their political party.
No,
we can't say that. I mean, it would be flying in the face of what we're looking at, right? Of what we're witnessing every day.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I when I was doing the second death penalty piece, I came across this case in Texas. It's a real case. It was from 2000. You might have heard of it, the Birding case. And in that particular case, the lawyer fell asleep during trial. It was a capital trial. And I was so shocked because the lawyer didn't say I wasn't asleep, I was resting my eyes, or it was really concentrating. The lawyer said, I fell asleep. Yeah, it was during trial, but it wasn't an important part.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I remember being like, pretty sure it's all an important part, no matter what, but especially when your life is at stake. And then, what the court said, so there's a little line, I still have my students read it, where the court said, the Constitution says you're entitled to an attorney. It doesn't say they have to be awake.
Right.
Wow.
And that was this moment where I just thought, good people on both sides of the aisle would look at that and say,
that's outrageous.
Right? You can't be killing people if you have sleeping lawyers and drunk lawyers and prosecutors hiding evidence. And so that was the moment when I said, I need to look at this closer. And so I've been researching and writing about the death penalty for 18 years now.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
And so that's the death penalty more generally.
Yeah.
And then as for this book, I didn't really so much as choose it as it chose me, but I had a research question because that's what we do. And my question was, why are states so breathtakingly bad at executions by lethal injection?
Yeah.
Why am I seeing 3-hour-long executions and 2-hour-long executions?
And you've been to executions?
No.
Okay.
I have not. I've not been asked, and I'm actually quite thankful for that.
But
I'm tracking it.
Would you go?
I try not to deal in hypotheticals, but what would you do?
I've thought about this a lot.
I've thought about it too.
I've thought about it a lot. I don't know, because I have to tell you, just researching this and hearing the media stories, and now I know members of the media and I know Capitol defenders, and so I hear their stories, and I feel like I'm stretched as a researcher. This
know
is
your
as far
boundary.
as I
know
can
your bounds.
Go.
Yeah.
I'm an empath.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know, just seeing it, even if it looked peaceful, I have to tell you, the second drug is a paralytic.
Yeah.
And it's not just a paralytic, it's a muscle relaxant. So it relaxes the muscles in your face.
So it
and
gives
then
the appearance.
freezes them that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So anyway, I had this question of, I'm seeing autopsies with 18 puncture wounds and people waking up in the midst of their own execution. And I just thought, I don't understand. We know how to put down our beloved pets. I know it's very clinical.
Yes.
But I'm a researcher, you know,
Right.
and it was like,
let's really get into this.
We know how physician-assisted suicide works. So why are they so bad at this?
Yeah.
There's the whole death penalty thing, and we could talk about that.
Sure.
But then there's
this is not
torturing
what
people.
This is not what that is,
to
right?
death.
Yes.
What has been the sort of response to that question in your research? Don't give away the heart of the book, but what have you sort of found? Was there any discoveries that you made in your research?
Oh my goodness.
What has the public sort of reach been?
Yeah. So, the answer ended up as a book.
Yeah,
it took me an entire book to answer it. And it spans anywhere from, I thought there was science behind this thing.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought, surely someone didn't just make this up off the top of their head.
Yep.
Someone literally made this up off the top of their head. That actually happened.
The specific way, the means in which we execute people in America.
Mm-hmm.
So lethal injection came to be in 1977. And actually, just to contextualize it, it was really no accident that it happened in 77 because the Supreme Court struck down the death penalty in 72, brought it back in 76. And by 1977, the country had not seen an execution in 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So you had Gary Gilmore just do it. That's firing squad. And everyone was like freaked out. And legislators around the country said, we need to do something else. The country hasn't seen an execution. They're going to be super squeamish about
the
electric chair, gassing people. And a federal court had found a First Amendment right to televise executions at the time. Now, it wouldn't last. But nobody could have known that. And so you had legislators talking about, well, we can't have an electrocution in someone's living room.
No.
Right. And so it was this big push of, okay, well, what about death by drugs? And that would look nicer. Thinking of the pets. And in Oklahoma, the legislators are asking their doctors, their personal doctors, the state medical association, nobody wanted to play. And so they turned to the state medical examiner, the coroner. This guy named Jay Chapman.
Oh, no.
He was a doctor, but he referred to himself as an expert in dead bodies, but not in how to get them that way.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
no,
right?
This is just like one of those things. This is one of those things where it is just kind of like an absolute clusterfuck, and then it creates legal precedent, and then we still have it today because no one can get rid of it.
It's such a cluster.
Oh my God.
And so they said, "Will you help?" And he said, "Sure." And he literally
just like
made it up.
Yeah.
And I found an interview of him later, and they said, "Well, how did you come up with the 3 drugs? Because not a single one of them is what we use for pets. Like, where did you even get that?" And he literally said, I didn't do any research.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said, I just thought about what might be useful.
Okay.
And that's the protocol that we use for the first 35 years of lethal injection.
And are we still using that today?
Yes. The first drug it isn't made anymore. That was sodium thiopental. And states have replaced that first drug with even worse drugs. So some states are using the 3-drug protocol. Some states are using a 1-drug protocol.
So let me ask you this, right?
Yes,
so if we, and again, understanding that people and animals are not the same, right? But if we do know how to put down a cat, a dog, a horse, whatever, and I've been in the room when I've had to put down a pet, and it does come across as a very peaceful. They just sort of like drift off to sleep, and it's over pretty quickly.
Yes.
Why are we not using those same methods to execute people?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
So some states are still using a 3-drug protocol. That is how strong the allure of a paralytic is. Something that like it's a get out of jail free card, right? Whatever's going on underneath there, it's going to look peaceful. So some states are like, love that, not leaving.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Some states, though, have turned to the 1-drug pentobarbital, which is what we use on pets. That's also what we use for physician-assisted suicide. And so one might say, okay, then why is everything wrong? And part of the reason for that is that it's actually not the same drugs. So drug manufacturers have put contractual agreements and tracking mechanisms on their drugs. They don't want their drugs being used for this.
The PR on that.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yep.
It's so bad. Like I always think of Pfizer, whose motto is "Life is our life's work."
Right.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, no, right. And all of the others too. But and so what's happened is the states have to go to these compounding pharmacies.
Yes.
And they're getting a compounded version of the drug. Well, these are little mom and pop shops. And compounding a sterile injectable, they are not set up for that at all. In fact, compounding sterile injectables is literally called high-risk compounding. That's the industry term for it because it's a mess. And so you've got that whole issue. And we haven't even really talked about what compounding pharmacies are willing to do this, and it's all for cash
Well, I was
under the table.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then also, here's another one. Like in the animal euthanasia context, you're using veterinarians that are trained.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who is pushing the drugs?
I was going to say, I can't imagine a medical provider who's taken a Hippocratic oath.
Correct. Right.
Is going to be issuing these. Is it like the warden? Is it
No,
bailiff? Like, who is this?
It's
an officer.
Non-medical prison guards.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
And they're not doing, like, they're doing it from another room, from this little antechamber.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Through 7 feet of tubing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in the animal euthanasia context, it's bedside.
Correct.
Right? So you can watch.
Yes.
Here it's not. It's through 7 feet of tubing. And if you ask them, which they have been asked, how do you know how fast to push the plunger? Because if you push it too fast, you're going to blow the vein. All of these bad things happen. And they say, we do it by feel. Yeah, and the medical professionals are like, there is no feel.
Yeah.
Right,
There's
right,
7
right.
feet of tubing.
Yeah.
But we see these headlines all the time of this state couldn't fulfill an execution because they were unable to source the drug, or they ran out of the drug, or no one could make it. Like, we see those headlines all the time. And I know that your book really focuses on the ways in which states are moving away from capital punishment, right? That there is a decline in jurors, in judges who are convicting. And
you feel like people don't have the appetite for it?
That it's maybe less so. There's a recent headline about Luigi Mangione trial just this week where he is no longer, the judge has ruled that he is not going to qualify for capital punishment. I just think it's an interesting time where, right, the ways in which, the means in which the execution is being provided, I guess, done, performed is
conducted
at odds with sort of where it came from, where this started, right? And the modern day appetite for it. I know, as, like you said, a provider in the judiciary, how wrong we are, how many flaws there are in a criminal trial, in a judgment, in a ruling, in that appeal, in the lawyer, in whatever, how many opportunities there are for error. And that's with people's lives at stake. And in a capital punishment trial, where there are charges where someone could be charged with capital punishment, that is literally what is being litigated on that day. So what do we do? We're all at odds with this subject, right? I mean, and then we're also thinking about justice for the victims of whoever this person committed a crime, right? Like, it really is an ethical ball of wax. And how do we, in like a 21st century context, piece this all together? Like, have you, just personally, we don't even have to talk about your book, but like you as a person, driving around the country with your sister, talking about this, like,
it's so awesome.
Hearing from these many communities in the South that still perform executions, like, what do we fucking do with this? I'm just like left with more questions than answers sometimes.
You've packed a lot in there.
I'm sorry.
It's so good.
You're just
it's
like
so
breaking
good.
my brain, but like, let's just like talk about it.
Yeah,
Like,
let's talk about it. So I think one thing that, one piece of information that people don't really understand is this error rate and actual innocence. And that's something that we can all get behind, as in, we shouldn't be executing innocent people.
Yes.
I don't really know of anyone. Actually, Scalia once said, this is a cost of doing business. So, him aside, but most people would say that's absolutely unacceptable. And so one of the things to think about is that we've executed slightly more than 1,600 people in the modern era. So since 1976, slightly over 1,600, 16 and maybe 1,640, something like that. And in that period of time, we've had slightly more than 200 exonerations from
I was going to say,
row.
what was the exoneration rate?
So, and so when you think about that picture, for every 8 people that we kill, and, you know, I call it secrets of the killing state because we are killing. And the autopsy actually says homicide for cause of death.
Wow.
Right?
Does it?
It sure does. This is killing. We just like to use these nice, pretty words instead. Yeah. But, for every 8 people we kill, there's one person that the state says, oh, sorry, we got that way wrong.
Got it wrong.
That is an incredible statistic, 8 to 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the National Academy of Sciences came out and was looking at death row and all of the errors, and they did this super fancy regression analysis that was, peer reviewed at the highest levels. And they said a conservative estimate is 4% of the people on death row right now are factually innocent. That's 1 in every 25.
Yeah.
And part of the problem, of course, is that we're, they're all saying it's me, right?
Yes.
And so this is a difficult problem, but just knowing that. And then the other piece, which goes into the victims side that you were talking about, is aside from actual innocence, there's this error rate.
Yes.
And the error rate nationally is between 50 and 70% of all death sentences are overturned on appeal. Indiana is 70%. I was like, oh my gosh, 7 out of 10.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
But even the lower is 50%.
Right.
And the top 2 reasons are grossly ineffective assistance of counsel and prosecutorial misconduct.
Wow.
And
so Brady violations.
Oh, Brady violations up the wazoo.
Wow.
And so, those are things that I think, good people on both sides of the aisle would say, well, we can't be
This doesn't make sense.
Right. We can't be doing that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it takes a long time to find those errors because those, as you know, are off-record errors.
Yes.
Right? You're not going to find those in the transcript. You have to look behind.
Right.
I also think a lot of people are out of sight, out of mind, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like these are people who are on death row.
Right.
Yeah.
They're out of sight, out of mind. They are incarcerated. And from the perspective of a state legislator, that's someone who murdered someone and is a bad person and therefore is not worthy of my time, attention, energy.
Right. Yeah.
So tell us what the Brady... what is it? The
Brady violation. Yeah, let's talk about Brady violations. Yes.
So Brady violation is when a prosecutor hides or doesn't disclose evidence that is favorable to the defense and material, as in there's a reasonable probability that it would have made a difference.
Right.
So this is not misplaced paper clips. This is stuff that
It's
really
not like
mattered.
a detail about the victim's hair color.
No.
It's like serious exonerating evidence that prosecutors have intentionally withheld.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we had one of these cases. It went up to the Supreme Court last year, 2025. So this guy was Richard Glossop. And I talk about him in the book because he had a lethal injection challenge. But bottom line is he was convicted of capital murder. He was never the killer. It was always this co-defendant named Sneed. And it was a terrible, all murders are terrible.
Right.
But this was a bludgeoning to death of a hotel manager.
Okay.
And Sneed did it. The Commonwealth never said anybody but Sneed did it. They never said Glossop did it. But Sneed said, Glossop paid me to do it.
Okay.
So the prosecution goes to Glossop and says, we'll give you life without parole if you'll testify against him. We'll go for death for him. Glossop says, I had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I'm
nothing to do with it. So I'm not taking that. Then they go to Sneed and say, we'll give you life without parole if you'll testify against Glossop. Sneed says, you got it. Glossop goes to trial. He gets convicted. He gets sentenced to death. First trial gets overturned, ineffective assistance of counsel. He's been maintaining his innocence. And, he would have been executed after the Supreme Court greenlighted, the lethal injection protocol, except Oklahoma injected the wrong drug into the guy before him.
Oh my God.
And then they tried to cover that up. And so can you believe this, Michael? The warden, the director, the people from the AG's office, they get called before a grand jury. They get investigated, right?
That is my jaws drop. That would never happens. Yeah.
It's crazy town that you have the people from prison that are
Oklahoma warden being
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's just waiting. Meanwhile, he's like, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. Finally, some people hire a law firm.
Finally.
To say, like, can you please look into this?
Yeah.
Which itself, we're going, well, that's what a court should do.
Yeah.
But okay,
Sure.
fine. They do an investigation and they come out and say, there's no way, like there's serious problems with this. Also, the prosecutor buried evidence. So when this comes out, the state, I don't know, reluctantly hands over 7 boxes of material that shows they solicited perjury. There's emails saying, there's some problems with his testimony. We need to get to him before he testifies again.
These are like serious crimes.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like, I did my job wrong and now it's going to get overturned
or whatever. Yeah.
These are prosecutors facing jail time for these crimes.
Yeah. And, when all of this comes out, the Attorney General of the state of Oklahoma confesses error, constitutional error, before the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals. And the Court of Criminal Appeals says, sorry, you missed the deadline, habeas, procedural default. There's nothing we can do.
Oh my God.
Goes up to the Supreme Court.
And they love doing that, by the way. They love just hitting with like
what?
Oh, the deadline.
So sorry.
It's you know what? They don't even think, look, discuss the subject of the case.
No.
It's they look at the first sheet, deadline's passed, you're out of here.
And he's actually innocent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can we just explain to everybody what habeas is?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So there's trials and there's the direct appeals that you have. And then after that, there's a system of habeas corpus. There's a state habeas, there's federal habeas, but the bottom line is at that point, it's essentially a civil suit that you are suing the warden for wrongfully holding you.
Okay.
But it's just a way.
This is something that's actually interesting come up recently in the bond proceedings in immigration court.
Go on.
Because under certain laws through the Trump administration and through a few federal decisions, basically many migrants are being held without bond or parole options for extended periods of time. Yeah. So, and these are the headlines you see out of Dilley, Texas, children protesting, children.
Yeah.
And so it's the same habeas claims are being invoked by these migrants and their attorneys in federal court. Habeas corpus claims for people who are not being afforded bond opportunities as migrants held in detention, because you're supposed to get a day in court. You're supposed to go in front of a judge, say, hey, I'm here on asylum. I should be released on bond. But the new Trump administration laws are sort of still getting worked out through the court system. And as a sort of Band-Aid to that, lawyers are now submitting habeas claims. So that's sort of how it's hit in my world.
Okay. So
uplifting.
Let me ask you this. So for the average person, why is this important? Why should we care about this? Because I can imagine that there are people who are saying, for the folks who are guilty, who have committed some heinous crime, and there is a family who is missing a loved one or several loved ones, who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's such a fair question.
Who cares? Because, when they were murdering my whatever, they didn't care about that. Why should I care about that person and what their death looks like?
Yeah. I mean, that's such a fair question. And I have to say, as a former prosecutor,
I was going to ask.
I think about the victims' family members all the time. I think about them all the time. And interestingly, I met a number of people on this book tour who were surviving family members of slain victims. And one of the things that they said, and then I need to answer your question, but one of the things that they said was, we're told this is going to give us closure. And it's actually the opposite of closure.
I can see that.
We're waiting 20, 30 years. Mississippi executed a guy this summer on death row for 50 years.
Yeah.
And they've been strung along this whole time. So, but to your question, one thing I would say is people always talk about, well, they deserved it. They deserved it. So why do I care? And I think it's important to remember that, one question is whether the person deserves death. that's only one half of the equation.
Okay.
Right.
The other half of the equation is, did the state do what it needs to do to take that, to deserve, to take that life?
Yes.
Right? Like, you can't just grab people.
Yes. Right.
Or, you deserve it. And so, like, there are things that the state has to do. And so, really, this book is about that question.
Okay.
And I always think, the untold story of lethal injection is really a story about all of the ways that the state cannot be trusted to take life, and all of the ways they have covered it up.
Yes.
But, there's a whole other question, and this is slightly different, but I think in there, of like, why should we care how they die?
Yeah.
Right? Because they might have tortured someone.
Yeah.
And to that, I always think, well, why don't we rape rapists?
Right.
And I'm not saying, like, why don't we let's?
No.
That's not what I'm saying, right?
No, but I kept thinking when you were talking, an eye for an eye.
Yes.
Is that, is it? And like, I am posing that question. Like, I have like a very unique opinion on this of, I see all the errors that happen in court. And I'm like, with that, I don't think we should be adjudicating people's lives because I see all the errors. So knowing that it's 1 in 8 are exonerated. So for me, I'm like, if there's even a 1% chance, that's still too much. That is my opinion. But I think it's like a conversation people need to have with themselves, right? Because when you were talking about like family members coming to your book tour and being like, I didn't get the closure I thought I wanted. My first thought was like, and I'm a narcissist. So like, we're always like, this is how I would think about it. And it's like, A, would that be the closure that I want or need? But also like, who does that make me? Right? Who do I want to be? Right?
Yes.
Is it, would it, I'm putting myself in someone else's shoes, and I've never been in this situation before, but I'm like, if I were this hawk who wanted an execution for a loved one who was murdered, would that be the closure I want? What does that say about me? And is there a story of forgiveness here? Like, I can't put myself in these shoes. And like, when you were talking about your book, I was like, the one word I kept thinking about was accountability and of the state. How do we hold the state accountable? And that's a lot of what I do as a defense attorney is like, a lot of the time I know my client did it. And all the evidence says that. My job is to stand there and just make sure the constitutional rights aren't violated and that the state is doing what they're supposed to do. And we'll go down swinging, but you're going down usually, right? If it's a foregone conclusion, it's over. I'm there to make sure your 8th Amendment violation, your 5th Amendment, your 4th Amendment, 1st, 2nd, like that's my gig.
Right.
It's not about what you see on TV, me pulling a rabbit out of a hat, getting this person off with like a loophole and they're running down the street and they're getting, and it's not about that. It's about accountability. And I think people don't understand that, right? Police accountability, prosecutorial, and now state when it comes to lethal injection. So that is my sort of explosive rant about this.
No, but I think it's so important to recognize too that surviving family members, they're gonna, I think it's totally understandable and natural to say, I want this I'll do it myself. So torture them.
Yes.
That's why we don't have family members prosecuting people. That's why we have what we call independent prosecutors. Because what you want, it's not wrong. It's just not necessarily what's good for society.
Right.
But, to your question, Mélissa, of like, what if they did torture? And I go back to, well, why don't we rape rapists? Why don't we burn down arsonists' homes? And it's not because they don't deserve it in some talionic eye for an eye way. It's because we're a civilized society and we could get even with them if we did that, but we can't stoop that low. They're the bad guys. So by definition, they can't be the standard for how a civilized society should treat the worst of its members.
And it doesn't undo the thing that happened, right? At the end of the day, unfortunately, whether this person is put to death or not, your loved one is gone. At the end of the day, your house has been burnt down, right? Like, and doing those things doesn't undo what the heinous act that happened to your family, to your friends, to your family. And again, to your point, I think it may be trying to remove yourself a little bit and look at what it says about society at large.
Yeah, I think so. So do you want to plug your book really quick? You can get it anywhere you get books, straight to camera. This is your camera right here. Here, we'll give you a copy.
Thank you.
Give a quick plug of the book. Your van's waiting outside. You have to go.
This is the book. You should read it. I think every person should know what the state is doing in their name.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's true.
And we should.
It's funded with your money. It's your tax dollars.
And, it's not just about torturous executions and made-up science. It's also about smuggling drugs across the border.
Yes.
Taking $15,000 in cash, putting it in a suitcase, chartering
I told you don't use my name.
Yeah. But, some of this stuff, it's criminal.
Yeah. And I'll be a quote for the next book.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me
Thank you for coming.
This was a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be right back with Tales from the DMs. Welcome back to Brief Recess. This is Tales from the DMs. We're going to talk about all the crazy, filthy, nasty, wild, wicked, slutty things you send us straight to my DMs.
You are very excited about this.
I know when I get the little view photo message from someone on Instagram,
it's gonna be really good.
I'm not looking at that.
Your mouth is watering. You're like, yeah. I love a good salacious comment.
We've gotten crazy we've got some awesome comments on our podcast. I thought it would be fun. Every episode, we're going to read a comment from Apple or Spotify or YouTube on Tales from the DMs. So we're going to start adding that in. So add your comments to the show, review the show, and Melissa's going to read them. Go for it. Give us a good one. I have not heard any of these.
So from the Millennial Failure, love that. This is what the Millennial Failure says. Your Honor, this podcast is critically underwatched on YouTube. These are highly intelligent, hilarious, engaging, and incredibly attractive hosts. If you're not watching, you're missing out.
Whoa.
Thank you, the Millennial Failure.
Someone tell my husband, incredibly attractive. I didn't need it to just be like a compliment fest, but I'll take it.
Oh, well, what?
I'll take it.
I will take that every time.
Everyone.
Do another one?
Yeah, do another one.
From episode 112, Don Lemon / Epstein from @Karen2730. Karen says, I also had a nun teach us sex ed.
Wait, this is a good one. Everyone talking about Action Park. Do you remember that episode?
Of course.
That was the one. People were coming up to me in the club, drink in hand. I was at Action Park. This comment. The comment is from Disabled Danny 96.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Disabled Danny 96 who comments on everything on YouTube.
Get in my actual DMs, Danny. He says, everyone that designed the slides were on cocaine. It was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
Action Park. Okay, CJ, roll the clip. We've got a tale from the DM. We got a question. Someone called in with a question for us.
Just a quick question. What advice would you give to somebody who's interested, very basically interested in immigration law, but doesn't necessarily have the time to commit to pursuing a full degree? I seem to be stuck in a place that wants to do more.
I get this question a lot about how non-lawyers can get involved. They want to go to law school. They don't have time. My answer is always find the nonprofit in your area that's doing this work.
Yeah.
Because the nonprofits really are the backbone. This person, I did a little research. I think they're from the Bay Area. And I found a few nonprofits that I know there. Immigration Institute of the Bay Area is a great one. They're service providers. So is La Raza, and that is a San Francisco Mission District legacy organization. So wherever you are, even if you're not in the Bay Area, there's usually a nearby nonprofit doing that work, and you know your skill set better than I do. So if you're really good at communications, or you're really good at social media, or you're really good at writing, talk to the nonprofit. Maybe there's a job there. Maybe there's volunteer hours there where you can get involved and do that work with your specific skill set. I say it all the time. So many people support my work. And just for me to get to the courtroom, someone had to be the translator.
Right.
Someone is the stenographer. Someone is the researcher. Like there's so many people behind me and the work, and then I get all the credit.
And we're going to put the links to the nonprofits that Michael mentioned in our show notes so that you have access to them.
I'll give this to CJ right now.
And everybody, like I always say, while Michael is a lawyer, he's not your lawyer. Unfortunately.
Unless you hire me.
You said that in a really gross way.
Unless you... I did say it like a lady of the night.
Why is it a lady of the night?
Unless you hire me.
It could be a person of the night.
It's true. I've been of the night. Thank you for watching Brief Recess. I'm Michael Foote.
I am Mélissa Malebranche.
I'll see you in court.
Not me.
I'll see you in the streets.
Probably.
Key in a car.